Okay, guys, welcome to Future Proof Your Beauty Business. This is an AI and automations. It is a full walkthrough. If you want to prepare your business for the future and if you want to thrive now, you need to be implementing AI and automations into your business before it's too late. And at this point, it's not just about being booked out. This is simply about survival because a year or two from now, AI is moving at such a fast pace that you don't want to get left behind. I don't want you to get left behind. We're going to walk you through everything you need to know in order to stay relevant in today's industry. This is a full AI and automations walkthrough of our CRM system, Bellavate, and also an explanation of the automated sales machine that PRB can put together for you. It's going to make your life so much easier and your bank account a lot healthier. Here we go. Okay. Most beauty entrepreneurs, they're doing this. They're randomly posting. They're posting just to be consistent. You probably have a social media manager. Maybe it's you who's your social media manager that's basically just posting just to post, just to stay consistent. You might have user-generated content, other people who are posting on your behalf if you have a product line, or maybe students if you're a trainer that are posting their work and tagging you. Or you might just be posting things that are cute and trendy just so you can say you posted that day. But if that post doesn't generate leads or bookings or enrollments, you're basically lost. So this is the strategic sales funnel that every beauty entrepreneur needs in order to survive in today's AI industry. Okay, let me explain. So this is a strategic funnel. There's content, which can be organic, which means it's just what you post on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, and it's completely free to post it. And then there's paid content. Paid content is any ads you may be running. What is an ad? An ad is basically just a piece of content. And if you're like, Sheila, we're running ads and it's working a little bit, that's great. But your ads could be working so much better if you have the rest of this funnel in place. This is the machine that's supposed to be behind the ads to really optimize your ad dollars. An ad is basically just a piece of content. So if your organic content isn't bringing you more money, what is the point of paying for more people to see it? What you want to do is you want to optimize your organic content first and make sure you have that strategy down and it's actually bringing in sales before you put money into ads. This is a hot button topic, but I personally believe that most beauty professionals are not ready for ads. Once your organic content is working and you know that every single time you post for free, it's bringing in quality leads, go ahead, pay for more people to see it because you know you have the systems in place. You know that if someone sees your content and the call to actions and the caption is perfect, that it will actually bring in money. Please, yes, put more money into that so more people can see it. But don't do it prematurely until you've set this up. And we're going to explain. The way content is done now is through viral hacking. There's actually a science behind this. Most people just post randomly because something is trending, but there's a much stronger, better way to create content if you research it first. What is viral hacking? It is basically the process of analyzing content that's already gone viral in your niche. Let me speed through this in 3 steps. The first thing you need to do is you need to find all sorts of reels, TikToks, and YouTube shorts in your niche in the last 6 months that have gone viral. I'm talking about 1 million views or more. You want to look for content that's specifically related to your business, not just random things that are cute and funny. Step 2 is to reverse engineer it. Think about it. What's the hook? Typically, it's all about the hook. The first 1 to 3 seconds. What emotion does it trigger? How is it filmed? Is it a camera angle? What's the delivery format? Write down everything you notice, but typically the hook is non-negotiable. And that's often why it went viral. So I'm going to show you an example of how to do this. Basically, what you want to do is you want to create your own version of this. Here's an example. I don't know who this girl is, but she's pretty big, I guess. And I saw that this reel had 4.2 million views out of everything else. It doesn't have that many views compared. And so what did I do? I simply reacted to it. So this piece of content starts with, The sad truth in our industry is
that your clients will become your friends quicker than your friends will become your clients.
As a seven-figure beauty business owner, here's the truth. If you want to be successful, you're going to lose friends. And that's okay. Your business isn't built on friendships, but... Okay, so I went on and on about this topic, but as you see, I used the first 3 seconds. And look, it resulted in 2,693 likes, 79,000 views. Another thing you can do is you can use it as inspiration. Here's how I did it.
Sad, but it's true. Your clients will oftentimes treat you better than your friends and family. Your clients will show up on time. Lots of times, friends and family.
Okay, so as you can see, I basically put my own spin on it, but I kept the hook the same. This works so well, it's shocking. Let me show you another example of when this worked for me.
Multi-million-dollar CEO at 25 years old on accident. Let's talk about how I did it.
Just like Savannah, I also created a multi-million-dollar beauty business, not once, but twice. And here is how I did it. Step 1, Okay, so I reacted to it. I put myself on a green screen, or I had my editors do it, and I told my own story. But I still credited the original content creator by saying, just like Savannah, this is what I did, and this is how I did it. But look at this. 251,000 views on Instagram. But the best part of this is that it got me about 2,300 follows. Now, here's the thing. Most beauty professionals, we're busy. We don't have time to research all this content. So what we do for you is we curate 90 days worth of content strategy, and we do the research for you. And we just hand it to you on a silver platter. Everything, the scripts, the captions, the instructions of how to carry it out. So that way you're not posting blindly, and we make sure the hard work that you're putting into content creation is actually being seen. You're actually visible. Okay, now once somebody sees your content, you want to make sure it always leads to something of value. You probably see this all the time. For example, I have about 82.4 thousand followers as of today. My email list is at 60,000. And here's why. Every single piece of content that I post leads to something that I own, an email list. And you should do the same thing. Let me show you an example. This piece of content, look, it says, comment auto and I'll send you the free guide. All these people that commented auto, you see this response right here? This is automated. Sent. Please check your DMs. Here's another one. Sent the link over. You want your potential customers, whether you want to sell services, products, or trainings, to go something like a free guide. For you trainers, it could be income potential of whatever it is you're teaching of students in their first year. For estheticians, it could be an anti-aging guide, or it could be 3 mistakes that you're making shaping your eyebrows, a free guide. It could be a skincare after menopause guide, something that's going to identify your ideal client. The reason why it's important to have some sort of free guide is because not only do you want to promote this in your content, but also your website. For example, here is a website we created. It's for a med spa. It's beautiful, really aspirational. Right now, as your website stands, there could be 30 people on your website right now, and you would never know it. But if there was a pop-up, look at this. Take the quiz. Get your personalized skin treatment plan. You stand a better chance of getting to find out who it is that visited your website. If you're a trainer and on your training page, there's an income potential pop-up or a free mapping guide pop-up, you can collect that email address and market to them later. And not only that, an email nurture sequence builds trust. Here's what most of you are doing. Most of you are just taking the client from content, just one impression, and then a high ticket sale. That's equivalent to asking someone to marry you on the first date. There's no value ladder. Here's how it works. It's the free piece of content, then something for free like a guide or a video that gets them to know, like, and trust you so they can dive deeper. And then maybe something low ticket, and then a high ticket sale. People need to trust you before they invest. So from the piece of content, then comes the freebie and into the email nurture sequence. Check this out. Once you have their email and phone number, you can market to them through text or through email. Big companies like Amazon, Nordstrom, Fashion Nova, Nike, Old Navy all use email sequences. If you look at your inbox now, you probably have a handful of promotional emails in your inbox right now. They keep doing it because it works. So let me show you an example of a 30-day email nurture sequence after somebody opts into your freebie that really gets people to know, like, and trust you so they can invest in you. Always remember this: nurture before you sell. So day one is the freebie download. Hey, you requested this guide. Here it is. Here's your freebie. Day one and day two could be your personal story, something that really gets them to know what your mission is about and who you are as a human being, because humans buy from humans. Days 3 to 5 is something educational, something that's of value. 3 myths about the beauty service that you provide that are holding you back. Give them some quick tips, bust common myths, or answer frequently asked questions. And then days 6 through 8, you can show your before and afters, some social proof. Check out these jaw-dropping before and afters. 9 through 15 is a subtle soft sell. Days 16 to 21, more testimonials, more social proof. And a final call to action on days 22 to 30, something with urgency, limited spots available, book before it's too late. Here's an added bonus if you book now: nurture before you sell. So here at PRB, we help you create the freebie with your information, not cookie cutter. We custom curate the email nurture sequence to best reflect your story and speak of your mission, and also infiltrate social proof that you may have, your proudest work, stories of lives that you've changed because of your hands or your craft or your product. Now, here's the cool thing. Not only are you going to nurture people via email, once they have commented that they want the guide, check this out. They basically just started a direct message with you. Anybody that downloads your skincare after menopause guide is probably going to be a good client for your services. Anyone that downloads your pigmentology guide is probably going to be a great candidate as a customer for your products, your pigment line. Anyone that downloads an advanced mapping guide is probably going to be a great candidate for your advanced trainings. Do you see what I'm saying? So now they basically raised their hand and now they're reaching out to you that they want it and they're a candidate. So in the DMs, it automatically sends them a message with a link to the landing page that we will create for you to get that email and that opt-in. Look at this. Struggling with what to post? Tired of creating content that gets crickets instead of clients? We've got you. Here's the link. And when you click on this, it leads to a beautiful landing page where you can capture that lead. And you can start messaging them. They've already said that they have the problem. You can say, "Hi, Cindy. My name is Catherine. I see that you're interested in our lash guide. Did you get it okay? Where are you from? Are you local?" And you can start the conversation, because sales is all about how many conversations you're having with potential clients. It's directly correlated to that. So in this strategic funnel, first comes the content, then the freebie, then the email nurture sequence and the conversation, which leads them to book a call or consultation with you, and then the sale. And it's all automated through Bellavate. And that's what makes this so brainless, so seamless, so easy. This is how your leads never dry up in today's day and age. Now, you might be wondering, what powers all of this? So I'm going to introduce to you my COO and right-hand co-founder, Laura Obando, that's going to give you a high-level walkthrough of the systems and the machine that you can use, that we will set up for you to make this happen.
Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, I'm very excited to show you guys Bellavate, because this is the system that is going to allow us to make this happen. You know, a lot of us have so many subscriptions to all of these things that need to be pieced together. a website subscription, maybe to Wix, maybe to Squarespace, maybe a GoDaddy website, then we have to connect to MailChimp to be able to nurture our clients through emails, just like Sheila just showed us the value of having a nurture sequence. And then some of those websites might have the ability to have that opt-in option, but some don't, believe it or not, because inserting that piece of value to your client journey is key, not only to build your bank of leads, but also to allow the client to walk through your offer ladder, like Sheila was mentioning. So these two things are really revenue generating in your business. And so when we don't have the right systems, the right automations to create these flows for our business, it's really when we have a lot of leaky buckets. And so that's where Bellavate comes in. We've spent over 2 years building out Bellavate to make it the system it is today, because we wanted an all-in-one platform. And you guys are going to see that magic happening where we were not spread out everywhere. We're not going to have to be using ManyChat for common automations and all of the other things that I've mentioned, but we're really bringing in the powerful way of streamlining your business so you never lose money or leads. Because what happens if Instagram shuts down tomorrow? What happens if your Facebook page gets hacked, and so on? You're relying on these platforms that are outside of your reach without being able to streamline your processes. So this is where we come in, and this is where we fix that. But most importantly, with a system that's actually focused on generating you more money. This is Bellavate. Like I mentioned, it's an all-in-one platform. The platform takes us straight into the first hub, which is the dashboard. I love the dashboard because as a high income earner, we need to know what our numbers are and what is happening in our business. Usually, sometimes we could have like maybe our assistant track these things through a spreadsheet, or maybe it's not even happening. So the dashboard is like an overview of all the metrics that are needed for us to know what's happening. And so because Bellavate is highly focused on sales and it's a CRM, a client relationship manager, it does track all the numbers in your business. So when we come here in the dashboard, we're going to see very simple metrics that show us what are our opportunity statuses. That means like where in the process of the sale could our clients be at? Are they perhaps, the sales that you have made? Could they be in a follow-up stage? Could they be in like an undecided stage? And so knowing those metrics allows you to understand what's happening with your money. And so as you guys can see here, it also tracks the value of your sales for that specific month, and you can adjust the opportunities to be able to give your reports maybe for the full month, for a full week, and so you can adjust that over here. Then we go into the funnel stages. The funnel stages is basically very similar to what I was mentioning above, but this one's most importantly telling you how many contacts do you have in your pipelines, how many engaged leads, how many consultations have you booked for the day or the week or the month, whatever you want to display on this dashboard, it does it for you. And then we go at the bottom. One thing that I really love about the dashboard is the task manager. So some of us might be using Monday, some of us might be using Trello or using other task manager softwares to be able to communicate with our teams that certain action items need to be done. But right here on the dashboard, I can track every single task that I have assigned to my team members that have been completed or are pending. So as you can see here, if I just click on this link above, I'm able to tackle on completed or pending tasks by due date and by team member. So this is great. Again, if, for example, you are needing to create a task or assign a task to a team member, maybe you have 5, 10, 20 trainers or artists in your team, and all you guys are doing right now is maybe communicating through WhatsApp or through text message like, hey, could you do this? And then people forget. Sometimes they don't put it on a list. You don't know if that system could be reliable. But if you were using the task manager and being able to see, you as the business owner wake up and be like, oh, Sheila's actually pending on completing this task from July 31st, then that would be like a way where you can follow up on her like, hey, I'm just curious what happened with creating that email for the training in Italy tomorrow. Did you get a chance to do it? And so it is just a great way for us, again, as business owners to have a bigger picture of what's happening. So I see the dashboard as like the place where the hub where I come and check what's happening day to day. You can view appointments, you can view sales, you can view team members' tasks, and also it is connected to Google Analytics and Google My Business. So you can check out how your business is performing on Google My Business. And at the bottom here, we've also included an ads report. We love the ads report because, sometimes we can log into Meta, we log into Google Ads, and there's all these metrics that they're so hard to read or just so complicated. And you're like, what's happening here? Are these ads even performing well? Well, guess what? If your ads were connected to our platform, you'd be able to track them just with 4 simple metrics here, either total clicks, total spend, CPC, and CTR, which actually those are the only things that you need to worry about to figure out if your ads are performing well or not. And so again, day-to-day data at a fingertip through your dashboard. And then we go into the Inbox Hub. The Inbox Hub is so amazing because it combines all communication that you've had with one client, and you could have it through all channels. So what does this mean? Let's say the client is on Facebook. Let's say the client's on Instagram. You're also texting with her. Maybe you have her WhatsApp and her email, and then she's messaging you on all these different channels. With Bellavate, you can combine all of these channels into one inbox for that contact. So the really cool thing about it is that you're able to see the history of the communication with that client throughout all of these channels just from the inbox feature. And also the inbox feature shows you either appointment updates, opportunity updates, email updates, as we mentioned. But the really powerful thing here is that instead of us having to check different phones or different platforms to see where this client specifically messaged us, this is going to save us so much time and manpower, and be able to have a chronological history of what is the communication that has happened with that client. So for me, the pros of having an inbox that gathers all of our channels is, again, time saver and allowing us to be able to see the history of the communication that's happened with one client. Maybe it has happened to us a lot of times. Like, let's say a client messaged us in 2023 complaining about her brows. And then all of a sudden in 2025, she messages, hey, I want to get my lips done. But you forgot where this happened, or you're blindsided if like this is a problem client.
You forgot she complained. You forgot
she complained. But if you had the history of the communication that was happening with this client from everywhere, from email to text to Instagram, you'd be able to catch these things. And a really cool thing that it's important to mention here that we can go into in the settings, but I know a lot of you guys who are growing teams, you're probably like, ooh, can I have more team members, be able to use my inbox, be able to use my platform. So before we continue with the tour of Bellavate, I want to clear out that yes, you guys are able to build a full team inside of Bellavate and decide what type of access you want to give that team member. Why is this crucial? Because when someone's answering to messages or to emails or Instagram messages on your inbox, guess what? You're going to be able to track who was the team member that actually communicated with that client, which is so cool because it's not just like, yeah, we just messaged her from the work phone and it seems like she was upset. We were kind of rude. And then, you asked the team member who answered to this client, and then no one remembers, or they're just pretending they don't remember. Well, guess what? The history in the inbox and all communication and all user activity will be tagged by the person that's actually creating it. And so before we go back, like I mentioned, I want to show you guys this because this is crucial for building a team. Having a staff that has different permissions inside of your account, it's a game changer. So we're able to, create the profile for them, but this is the part where you're able to choose from every single hub What is it that you want them to manage and what is it that you don't want them to see? So for example, let's say you have a virtual assistant and all you want is for her to manage conversations, right? To view conversations, the inbox, but you don't want her to see any of the payments that are coming in, any of the opportunities that have been won, none of that. So you can come in into the role and permissions and just turn on or turn off the hubs that you want her to manage. Okay. So here's an example of what I mean by being able to see who is messaging with the specific client in your inbox. So let's say I am a front desk girl and I want to message this specific client. Hello, Laura. Just wanted to check in on how you are feeling today. And then I sent this. And right over here, you guys are able to see the team member that sent the message. And it's going to be the same thing for Instagram, for email. If I send an email, it could either be from your company email or the user email, which is another cool thing that you can select what email you want to use. For me specifically, it's this one in my communication hub. But the most crucial part about this is being able to see who is communicating with that client. And maybe it's you, maybe you're just a one woman team, and that's totally okay too. But the magic of building a team and allowing us to see what activities and what communication is happening with our clients between our team members is crucial. All right, so right after the inbox hub, we have the appointments. Appointments is basically a calendar. So if you're using Calendly, if you're using Square, if you're using Vagara, if you're using Acuity, Mindbody, well, the Appointments Hub basically substitutes that for service providers or trainers that want to have multiple teams and multiple locations. So here I'm able to select the team members that I want to view their calendar. Maybe I want to view it by week. Maybe I want to view it by month. Or another real cool feature is being able to see the appointment list. So instead of, if you don't like the calendar view option, you could also just view your appointments for that specific day. Filter it. We have really cool filters, appointment time, by owner, by dates. So maybe you want to check out, how many appointments do I have for the full month of August? Then you're going to be able to do that by the appointment list. And our calendar settings are amazing. You're able to create in-person locations, varieties, or also be able to create Zoom links for team members. So trainers, if you're doing virtual consultation calls before a training, or even virtual consultations for a service, and you want to send a Zoom link to be able to automate that process of not having to text the client, yeah, I'll call you at this time. The automation for the calendar setting can just send the client your company Zoom link right away so that you can meet on that virtual consult with your potential clients. Now we're going to go into the Contacts Hub. The Contacts Hub is basically where you're going to be able to import clients that you already have from other systems. So like, let's say you want to download your database from your Vagara booking system and you want to put them into your new Bellavate. You could easily do that by downloading a CSV file and then putting them in your contact list. Let's say you have contacts from MailChimp, because again, you have all of these things everywhere pieced together. Maybe you have contacts from your Kajabi because you're a trainer and you build your courses on there. Well, from any platform that you currently have, you're able to import your contacts. And something that you could do as well is create tags. What the create tag will do is you could segment your contacts for specific things, and it could have multiple tags. So this is a really cool way to stay organized with segmenting our client list. Let's say you want to create tags for people who just came in for browse service, but then you also want to create a list for people who got an ellipse service because you want to follow up with that client, nurture them like, hey, it's time for your follow-up, or it's time for your color boost. So creating tags will allow you to do that. Same thing with trainings. This client came from my training platform, or they took my training. Now I'm offering an advanced training. And so again, tagging your contacts and being able to segment them, even though they're still on the same platform, is amazing. But to be honest, my favorite part about the contacts is being able to do bulk actions. So bulk actions save us tons of time. Think about it as if you were wanting to run maybe a 48-hour special or a Labor Day sales special. Usually, back in the day when I was a receptionist at Sheila Microblading, I had to grab the phone and start texting everyone manually, But here, just with one simple click, it selects all of our contacts and I can just say, hey, send all of my contacts a text message or send them an email or request a review. Maybe you've never requested a review from your contacts. So that just saves us so much time and it allows us to be able to organize all of our clients list in a much smarter way. Now I'm going to show you something even more cool. So whenever you click on a contact, we're basically taken into their card, and the card can have a lot of information. You guys can put date of birth, where they came from. You could also create forms, as I mentioned, create tags. But most importantly is being able to see the activity of what happened with the contact, being able to assign task. So as I mentioned earlier in the dashboard, if you need to tell your front desk girl, hey, give this client a call at 5 p.m. so we don't forget, you can assign the task right on the contact and who you are assigning it to. So is it Danielle from your team? Is it Laura? Is it Sheila? And then it'll remind them of that task. But then we go into a really cool section, which is the notes for the contact. The notes could be like our internal notes, internal company notes of that specific client. Being able to say like, hey, she came in today, she left with her brows done, she seemed really happy, left us a great testimonial. All of these little details that sometimes we forget are crucial to keep track of. It allows us to keep track of that client communication, client experience, everything that we wanted to do. Or maybe it's a problem client and we're like, put a note on it that says, this client left unhappy. She's really not being reasonable. If she calls back, make sure that you offer her, I don't know, something, right? So again, this is crucial for team communication or remembering what happened with that specific client. Then we could also see the history of appointments here for that specific contact. But a lot of you guys in the permanent makeup industry, because we're in the permanent makeup industry or any industry that you are for beauty, we either send out consent forms, we send out documents to this client, or maybe we take pictures of the before and after of this client. Inside of the Contact Hub, we have a documents section. The document section allows us to add any file that we want for that specific contact. So if it's their consent form, the consent form can be sent automatically through Bellavate and it will automatically be stored in this client's document hub. Maybe it's a picture. But the coolest thing here is that if a specific contact sends us a picture, maybe through one of our communication channels like Instagram, Facebook, text message, we're able to grab that picture or file that they've sent us through these communication channels and save them inside our documents hub as well. Not only internal team documents that you may store for that contact, but if the client sent something like, for example, my brows did not heal well, or it looks like this filler didn't react well, and look, this is what I look like. You can save that picture and put it in the client history. And then lastly, in the contact section, you could also check out transaction histories. If you're doing your payments through Bellavate because you just checked out a client, then you're going to be able to see her transaction history by date, by amount, and status, paid, unpaid. And so this gives us an overview of like, hey, maybe this client has an invoice pending for whatever reason. We got to charge her before she checks out, and so on and so on. So this is the Contacts Hub.
So going down the list, we have our pipeline automations. So before we get into that, I'm going to show you first what is a pipeline. If you've ever used anything like Salesforce, then you know exactly what a pipeline is. But let me show you the dinosaur way of what a pipeline looks like. so you have a deeper level understanding of the automated pipeline. So this is the beauty business sales pipeline. You need to keep track of your leads. This is why you're losing sales without knowing it. This is what I used to do. Let me take you back in time to circa 2014, before automations, before anything. But remember, at this point, I was a 7-figure beauty business owner. Let me take you back to my war room. And my war room looks something like this. A wall full of Post-it notes. You've probably seen a few of these on Instagram and TikTok and things like that, where it's business owners and they're in their office space and they have a bunch of Post-it notes on the wall. So if you don't currently have a CRM, this basically does the same thing. Now let me go through each element. So right up here on the top, this is the journey to a sale. It starts out when somebody becomes a lead. After they become a lead, you either text or DM them. So this is the conversation stage. Now, after you text or DM, what happens? Or what do you want to happen? You want them to book a consultation, whether virtually or in person. Now, after that consultation comes the result of that consultation. Did they end up booking? Did you end up closing the deal and then booking an appointment? Or does it result in a follow-up? So over here, we have a list of names. So when somebody becomes a lead, whether you meet them at a party, talk to them on Instagram, or as a friend or family member that said they were interested at one point, they're put under the lead list. You write their name down in a Post-it note because they're now a lead. Once you start the conversation in the DMs or through text message or phone or whatever, then we have Sydney over here. You move their Post-it note over to the conversation category. Now you're having a conversation with them. This is just a way to keep your leads organized. And depending on what happens here, you can move them down the line to the ones that booked a consultation with you. Now, once they're in the consult line, depending on the outcome of that consultation, you can either move them on to booked or follow up. What's awesome about this is it's a way to keep your leads organized. So in the morning, when you come into your war room, you can see all of the people that you have as a lead, the people that you have yet to start a conversation with, all of the people that are in the conversation category that you need to keep working on, all of the people that booked a consultation, all of the people that booked, yay, go you, and all of the people who are undecided that you have yet to follow up on. And we're going to talk about follow-ups a little bit later today. But this is just a way to keep your leads organized. And I have to say, it's also super motivating. Instead of just staring at an empty calendar, now you're staring at possibility. When you look at this, you realize when you organize your leads in this way, all of a sudden it becomes very clear what your job is today. All of a sudden it becomes very clear the opportunity that you have. It's more than you probably realize. All of the people that you can follow up on, all of the people that you've booked, all of the leads that you can continue a conversation with. This keeps your leads organized so you never ever miss an opportunity. Okay, so Bellavate automates all that. It just automates all of it. So you never miss a lead.
We never want to miss a lead, right? And so this is where pipelines come in. This is really where the most powerful function of our system is truly in the pipelines. The easiest way to understand the pipeline is understand in what stage of the sale a client specifically is in. And so if someone came in through our website, downloaded our freebie, and gave us their information, they're going to be automatically be put in the lead section, in the lead column of your pipeline. That means it's a new lead. So if you're an artist, a trainer, or maybe you have a receptionist that takes care of your leads every single day, which you should, then they're going to have a column where they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I have 2 new leads today. I have 2 new people that I can have contact with. And so once they engage with them, they're going to be automatically put in the engaged lead column. Or you could also move them manually just by a drag and drop, just how you guys saw. So the goal of the pipeline is to understand, like I mentioned, in what stage of the sale a client specifically at. So once we're here, once we engage with them, once we've maybe gave them a call or send them a message via Instagram or text because they downloaded something from us, or maybe they came in from one of our social media channels, then we're going to be able to offer them maybe a virtual consultation or an in-person consult. If you guys don't offer consultations, then if the client books directly on your calendar, they're going to be moved into the became a customer column. And so That really is how the pipeline operates. You don't have to worry about moving it. It's the awesome thing about automation and triggers is that the pipeline will automatically detect in what stage of the sale each customer is on. Maybe they've canceled their appointment. You're going to be notified of all those moves. But people who cancel appointments, then you should do some proactive sales around like what happened, reach out to them, maybe put them on a follow-up. Maybe they tell you right now it's not the best time. And so if they tell you right now it's not the best time, you could easily put them on a follow-up sequence where they're going to be nurtured and reminded that you exist. All right. Then we're going to go into the document and payment hub. The document and Payment Hub is directly where you can set up invoices, payment links, transactions, and documents and contracts that you want to send out to clients. So maybe you create a workflow where a client books a consultation. After they book the consultation, they book a service. But before they come in, you want to tell the system like, hey, 2 days before, can you please send them my consent forms? They must be filled out prior to the appointment. And so the system can send automatic consent forms without you having to worry about reminding them, about sending them. And you could also set it up to have reminders of like, hey, we're an hour away and I have not received your consent form. So all of these things can be automated in the Documents and Payment Hub. Same thing with invoices or payment links. And we also have a store. So the store substitutes Shopify, substitutes maybe Stan Store or any store that you might have. It tracks inventories. This is also in the Documents and Payment Hub where you can check your inventory, you can check collections. Virtual products, they could be virtual products, they could also be physical products, or they could be the services that you offer. So all of these are unlimited. You can have unlimited products, build stores in here, also integrate if you already maybe have a Shopify account or any, stores, you can integrate them into here. Same thing with payment integrations like Stripe, PayPal, Square. So you could connect your Square. So all of that is connected and integrated here. Okay, then we're going to go into the AI agents. AI agents, it's really cool because this is where you could basically optimize your AI bot to take on a lot of responsibilities that maybe a team member used to have to do. So two of the coolest features that we use AI agents for is picking up the phone. Like, let's say maybe, your business hours are from 10 to 3 p.m., but after 3 p.m., you don't have someone picking up the phone. What if you could activate an agent that actually takes care of that for you so that you don't have to worry about missing a phone call? And not only that, it could actually book an appointment while you're sleeping or while you're away from your phone. So let me show you something really cool. I'm going to introduce you guys to Bella. Bella is our AI agent inside of Pretty Rich Bosses. All right, I'm going to give Bella a call right now. It's past our business hours.
Hello, this is Pretty Rich Bosses, Bella speaking. How can I help you today?
Hi, Bella. I'm looking for some guidance, maybe some business mentorship, but I don't know who can help me with that.
Hey there, you've come to the right place. We offer personalized coaching to help beautypreneurs like you grow their business. Would you like to book a consultation with Lauren, our expert beauty business strategist? He can provide tailored guidance for your needs.
Yeah, I would love to book a consultation. What times do you have available?
Great, we have some slots available for you. How about Friday, August 8th at either 10 a.m., 10:15 a.m., or 10:30 a.m.? Do any of these work for you?
I'll take the Friday at 10 a.m.
Perfect. I see we have your email as admin@SheilaBellaPRB.com. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. And book your consultation with Lauren for Friday, August 8th at 10 a.m. You'll receive a confirmation shortly. Is there anything else I can assist you with?
No, thank you so much.
Thanks for reaching out to Pretty Rich Bosses. If you need anything else, feel free to call back. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye.
Okay. So right now, Lauren, it's Eastern time for her, so it's past her business hours, but the bot was able to book a call with her, which, she is one of our business strategists. She is one of our representatives who would walk you through our different programs. And so Bella was able to book a call on her calendar without her having to pick up the phone and book the consultation manually. So this was all done through our AI bot. Then we also have a conversations AI. Conversations AI, it could do multiple things. We could enable it to have a bot, a conversation bot on our website. We can train it to have full conversations in the DMs. Right now, the system does come with initial conversation starters, like the one Sheila showed you at the beginning of this video, where if someone comments on a post, the word auto, then the bot goes in and creates that initial conversation and sends them the link to the website where they can get the freebie. So we can train the AI to do those things, to either reply to help desk on our websites, even our WhatsApp, it could be inserted to. But yeah, so basically the AI bot, the AI agents just help us create those touch points without needing a physical human. And what we can see them as right now are initial touch points to at least have some point of contact with our potential clients or leads. If you wanted to train the bot completely to be fully hands-off, that is an option that we have for an additional charge, and we can talk about that if you guys schedule a discovery call. But initial touch points like this, like conversations, picking up the phone, sending them to a specific link, these are all things that you can train your bot on. Okay. Then we go into our marketing hub. Our marketing hub, think about when we used to have to use Planoly or Plan, or maybe go into Facebook and have to schedule all of our posts in advance. Scheduling posts in advance is truly a game changer for our business because we're being more optimized with our time. We're saving time by scheduling things in advance and not have to worry the morning of or the day of like, oh my gosh, what am I posting? If you had a social planner where you could post everything, schedule them in advance, you'd be saving your business lots of time. But the coolest thing about the social media planner is that you can connect it across multiple platforms. This is where the real time saver is at, and being able to be omnipresent in your social media channels. The reason why we stay consistent with our income goals, it's because we're everywhere. People not only see us on Facebook, they see us on Instagram, they see us on Google My Business profile, they see us on LinkedIn, they see us on TikTok, they see us on YouTube and Pinterest. Why? Because we repurpose one piece of content across all platforms. And that is crucial for business growth. Being omnipresent with your marketing is crucial. If you're just posting on Instagram and you're just relying on one social media platform to get attention, you have no idea how much attention and money you're losing right now, especially in 2025. So if you want your business to succeed, you need to be omnipresent. And this is where the social planner comes in and helps you out. In the marketing hub, we also have emails and trigger links and being able to manage affiliates. If you are a trainer or maybe you have a shop and you have different affiliates, this is where the marketing hub could help you. But one really cool thing that I love about the marketing hub is being able to understand the data. What's happening with my emails? Did 100% get delivered? How many people opened my email? Is it a 42%? How many clicked? 11%. Being able to track these numbers of what's happening with our emails, it's crucial. And in addition to that, guys, we have also worked on an amazing email sequence for you that's plugged into your platform. It's a 2-year customizable email sequence where you get to nurture your leads every single month, weekly. And so I'm going to show you guys a little example of what I mean. 2 years worth of emails are plugged in here. And all you have to do is, like, let's say you want to utilize January year 1, week 1. You click on it and you see a full email that has already been written by us with our PRB formula. All you have to do is maybe plug in your business information. Maybe your business is not called Boho Beauty, right? But it could be, I don't know, uh, Laura Beauty. If it's Laura Beauty, then you change your logo to Laura Beauty and then just read that this kind of makes sense for your business. This one in particular is for estheticians. So it's tailored towards collagen, but we do have emails for different industries. The powerful thing about emails is, again, if you're not creating those touch points with your leads, we know that most of the big brands out there, Crate and Barrel, Old Navy, all of the brands that you are actually shopping from, they are emailing you probably every 2 days. But here, you don't have to worry about what email copy to come up with. It's actually in here, and you can just follow our formula and personalize it to your own business and turn them on. So again, you're creating those touch points through your marketing hub with your potential clients. And then we go into the Automations Hub. The Automations Hub is, think about it as anything you want to automate can be automated. If you want Bellavate to make you a latte, it could almost make you a latte, but not really. But this is probably one of my favorite hubs because it allows you to help out your manpower, to help your business with things that usually would require a full-time person, that now you can think and create new workflows. When I talk about workflows, is like action items. So an example of this, the whole platform it's built on automation. But a great example of this is when I was explaining to you guys the checkout process or the payment process for a client. If you want a client to receive a consent form before they come in, and then receive a payment link right while they're getting their service done, and then get a review request right after their service is over. All of these things that usually a person would need to do, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Because as you guys can see here, pipeline stage change. The client went from booking a consult to booking a service. Now it triggers the opportunity for that client to be marked as one. As soon as the client is booked for a service, then they get triggered to be sent an invoice. Once that invoice is sent, then and the client paid, they came in for the service, they receive a review request like, hey, don't forget, we hope we're your number one. We would love to hear your feedback. And if the client did not fill out the request, then guess what? It could also send them a text message reminding them. So these are things that probably our receptionist or even ourselves failed to do. But we know the importance of building our review reputation. So instead of manually having to do this and manually having to remember like, oh my gosh, this client just left, now I have to send her a review request, you could create the workflow to do it for you. This is what I mean by a workflow. All the manual steps that you would have to do yourself are now taken care of by a powerful system like this. And so everything is a new automation. Everything can be a workflow. If someone missed the call, that's the missed call automation. If we're not by our phones, please make sure that my AI agent, Ben, or Karen, whatever you want to name your AI agent, because you can personalize it, picks up the phone and does these actions.
Don't choose Karen. Don't choose Karen. Sorry.
If a new lead comes in from any platform, calendar request, lead form from Facebook, TikTok, or my lead magnet on my website, then I want them to be nurtured through these emails. And so all of these triggers just happen automatically until they book a consult or book an appointment with you. So again, this is the hub to be at. This substitutes Zapier. It substitutes ManyChat, as we showed you earlier. If you have an automation to automatically reply to your Instagram comments, Facebook comments, or start conversations for you, send out DMs to your leads, all of these things can be here, and you're saving yourself that additional money and additional headache of having to piece together all of these subscriptions.
Bellavate covers everything. These are the 5 client types: the client that just booked, the client that's physically present, the client that just left, the client that you haven't heard from in a while that's dormant, and the client that's undecided. Okay. So every single client type, there are specific revenue generating actions that you can trigger these automations that you can trigger in order to have new clients consistently. And that is the name of this framework that we put together today. So a client that just booked, what do you need to do? You need to call them and text them manually to confirm. You need to send a video message and record it every time. You need to text a coupon and offer an upsell. What Bellavate can do, Bellavate will send a confirmation text. You can even send a video, a link to a video that explains where parking is, what pre-procedural care includes, what to remember to fill out before they get into the appointment. You can also offer an upsell, maybe like a coupon code or something like that. Let me show you an example of what I used to do. This is like Sheila circa 2017.
Hi, I'm Sheila Bella, and I am so excited that you chose us as your permanent makeup providers. I can guarantee you are in amazing hands because we have been in the business now for almost 10 years.
So this includes an upsell. This includes parking information. This includes how to get in and all the things you want them to know before they come in. And it's so personalized because it's a video that they're shocked. The automation for a client that just booked also includes an upsell. Hey, it's not too late to do brow lamination on top of it. Hey, it's not too late to do aromatherapy. So here's a 30% off if you click here and book now. The client that's physically present, what are these people doing? If somebody is in your chair getting a service appointment done, they are texting their friends, their family. That is the best time to ask for a referral. So what Bellavate does is you can set it up to send them a coupon right at the time of their appointment. Be a friend, tell a friend, text this digital thing to a friend and she gets 20% off. And you get 20% off your next session too. That's the best time to ask for a referral. You can even send them a checkout link while they're there. What about the client that just left? The client that just left, you should probably follow up with. You can ask them for a review. You can do that manually. You can offer a discount for their next visit, but Bellavate does this automatically. It asks for a review right when a client leaves. You can program it to do a follow-up 2 days after their treatment, or maybe at day 6 when you know they're scabbing. And you can even send a link to a video so it's more personalized. So now automations, the way to look at it is that you are now the designer of the client experience. A client that's dormant. So manually, you could scroll through past clients and text them one by one, manually create a "we miss you" text and send it and hope they respond. Bellavate, you can program it so that if a client has been inactive for 90 days, you can send them a "we miss you" text, or maybe a reminder 1 year after their appointment to book their touch-up. You can literally design anything under the sun. What about the client that's undecided? She called and she said how much, and she was a little turned off, or now she's price shopping. And then what? Do you just ghost her? Bellavate follows up on your behalf as many times as you program it to. And these automations, a lot of them are already built into the system.
Yeah, so here, as you guys were seeing from Sheila, we have created all of these automations that could already be happening automatically for you. So the just book client, the appointment reminders, the no-shows, what to do with the physically present client, and so on. So you guys got the idea, right? Then we're going to move on to the Sites Hub. The Sites Hub is where we can build unlimited funnels and unlimited websites and our stores. So I know a lot of you guys have a service website and then a training website, and you maybe have them on separate platforms. I don't know why that happens so often, but it does. When we were starting out, we fell into this pit where our website for services was like on MoPro, and then our website for trainings was on Kajabi, and it was all a mess everywhere. But with Bellavate, like I mentioned, you can have multiple websites. Like even if your brother asks you, hey, can you host my plumbing website? You can host it inside of your platform too, which is really cool. And then the funnels is the way that you're able to create opt-ins. So if tomorrow, maybe you decide to have a new freebie for color theory, you can create it in the funnel portion of it. That way you have everything organized of like, okay, someone opts to my color theory freebie, then they get a thank you, then I'm going to book them for a training, and you can create those steps by steps. And as I mentioned, you can also build stores in here and multiple stores. So if it's a store for, I don't know, maybe pigments, and you want to divide that into just the pigment store, and then maybe you create another store for tweezers, you could totally do that as well. Basically saying you can have multiple brands inside of Bellavate by hosting different websites and stores in one platform.
Okay, you guys. So what we do here at PRB is we design these beautiful websites and also these website funnels, depending on what your needs are and what your budget is. Let me just show you guys what a website or a sales funnel can look like when it's designed by women, women that are your ideal client. We know what your ideal client wants. It's what we want. So check this out. Also, the copy is more towards the feelings and the imagery. Oh my gosh. I've seen some websites before and I'm like, a guy designed this 100%. Look at this. So this is for permanent makeup training funnel. So good. And of course, we will definitely use, your branding and also the colors and the preferences that you'd like. Check this out. See? Yes, I want perfect brows. Steal my brow secrets. Opt in. Here's another one that I showed you earlier for a med spa. We have hundreds of these, you guys, but here are just some of them. Gorgeous. If you've been doing this now for several years, does your digital presentation match your craft? Here's another one from Mude. She even has services, products, training. She has a store here too. So I'm just showing this to you guys because this is the quality of work that we here at Pretty Rich Bosses do. It's high end. It's luxurious. I could go on and on.
And then lastly, we have a couple of more hubs here. The membership hub. This one's crucial for trainers because, as I've mentioned, sometimes we have like different platforms where we actually host our online courses like Kajabi, Thinkific, Contra, and all of these things. But from here, you're able to upload all of your courses and have them in one place. And most importantly, guys, we do not charge for your, any sales that you make. So if you're selling $1 million in online courses, your subscription will not change, or we're not getting a cut out of your courses. You could also build communities. And something that some of our trainers really love is being able to import their current courses from Kajabi or start a new one from scratch. And this looks very similar to Kajabi, basically being able to build a membership, build your own. And something that's really cool is if you want to trigger a certificate, because we know that students love certificates. Let's say that once they've completed the course, you want to give them a certificate. That is also an option. And so the certificate creation happens here where you can create a certificate and automate it for it to be sent out to the client. And so here are some templates of certificate of completion, but you can create your own and create it with your new branding and start from scratch. So that's what our memberships and courses hub is about. Then really quick, we have a media storage hub, which is basically where you could upload brand assets. So your team's not always looking for like your logo or maybe pictures of you and your team. You could actually have them all here with brand boards, create folders. It basically replaces a Google Drive, but all in your platform where it could easily be used for marketing assets, for example. And you could also connect your Google Drive. Then we go into the Reputation Hub. The Reputation Hub is where we're able to see everything that's happening with Google My Business. And so your reviews are all connected here, and you're able to see everything or even send out review requests if you wanted to. And then lastly, guys, we have the Reporting Hub. The Reporting Hub is very similar to the dashboard, the first hub that we saw, but this one's like on steroids. So it's just very detailed reports. Like if you wanted to download everything that was happening with your Facebook ads, then it would give you all of the details that you would actually see on Meta, but again, all from one place. If you wanted to see how your team members are performing in regards to the revenue that they're bringing in and maybe connect this to QuickBooks for your CPA, you could do that through this attribution report. Also, we have the call report, being able to see, maybe your business received 100 calls per day and your current receptionist is only booking one client a day. By being able to see this call report and detecting what could be happening? Why is this girl only booking one client a day if we received 100 calls? So these types of reports actually give you a better idea of what's happening in your business. You guys can do agent reports, which is basically by team member, being able to see what their conversion rate is, how many leads has the business gotten, and then also an appointment report, booked, confirmed, canceled, super friendly dashboard where the numbers are just so easy to read. And that's what we wanted to create. Okay. And then lastly, guys, before we wrap up, Bellavate, because you're probably wondering oh my gosh, I love this platform, but how do I actually learn to use it? How do I actually get support on navigating it? Well, guess what? We've built in a 24/7 chat support system where you can have access to any of our tech team just by clicking this little question mark button at the bottom. And so every time you're able to request either a tutorial, contact us through messages, either a tutorial or submit a ticket to be able to be contacted with someone live, and they could send you a video or they can say hey, let's hop on a call. I'm happy to help you with this. And so this is unlimited support 24/7. If it's 3 a.m. and you're trying to do something, build something new in your system, you can have that. We also build in a Bellavate Tech University, and Bellavate Tech University basically walks you through the different tutorials that you might need to get started in your system. But if you are part of our community of Pretty Rich Bosses, you do also get live tech calls with us 3 times a week, because we just want to make sure that we're always building something new, creating new automations, and helping you systemize your business in a way that it's always running on autopilot.
So I know that was really overwhelming for some of you. Maybe you're just a solo entrepreneur and you're I am not even on that level yet. I don't have a team. Remember that with Bellavate, it's meant to grow with you. If you just want to use Bellavate for appointments and marketing, fine. If you just want to use it for automations, for email, just for sales, totally fine. But we just wanted to give you a high level deep dive into everything that it can do as you grow your business, because I plan for you to be very successful and be able to grow with this platform. So at whatever level you're at, Bellavate is here to support you. So if you're interested in a discovery call or a personalized demo of how Bellavate can work for you and how all these AI automations can keep you relevant, go ahead and go to sheilabella.com/apply to book a completely complimentary discovery call and walkthrough. Until next time.
I've made almost $100,000. Now that I've had experience with PRB and I've had them by my side, I'm well on my way to almost 7 figures within 6 months.
Before PRB, I made about $10,000 a month. Now I'm making $35,000 to $40,000 a month.
I hit every goal I wanted to hit when I started PRB.
Last month, I had my biggest sales month ever, biggest sales week, biggest sales day. This week, I'll make even more. I was over 10,000 last month. And that was with only 3 weeks in the program. So
I ended up doing 26 with PRD, and we did an eighth of this program, and I brought in $48,000. My goals are already met. I'm just letting them be turning out.
I've had so many wins since working with you, just being able to really increase my income, especially when I'm training programs. And I really grew my business.
Going from making about 10K a month, 12K a month, averagely each month on my own, to now hitting $15,000 to closer to $20,000 months now.
Some of the results that PRB has helped grant me after taking all this coaching and mentorship was taking charge of my business, understanding my numbers, pretty much doubling the income that I saw every month. And one of my favorites is honing in on my sales.
I have a fully booked schedule, overbooked schedule. Clients are waiting for me. They want to get into my book. They're willing to wait 1 month longer, just want to get into my book. And I have academy that I teach new girls knowing how to lash correctly. And my academy is booked a month ahead.
It's been life-changing. I don't know if I would even still be running my business if I didn't have all the ladies at PRB.
Without the coaching of PRB, I wouldn't have an assistant. I would still be spending my evenings replying to emails and social media messages. I would still be doing all of my own booking. I now have an assistant that does all of that for me. Without PRB, I would still be answering the phones myself. Without PRB, I would still be probably not always sending as many newsletters as I would need to, and I'd certainly be writing them myself, which I don't do anymore. Without PRB, I wouldn't have all of the automated services so that when people register for my school, they didn't have any follow-up before, and now they do. Now they have follow-up with emails and other courses. Without PRB, I would not have as much clarity of where I want to take my business.
Now grossing up to $10,000 a month. So that's a significant jump if I do say so myself.
Some of the successes that I received already from coaching have been increased revenue, increased confidence, increase in my social media platform. I learned to implement some of the best practices that were given to me regarding sales.
It was great. It was the best decision I've ever made. What you learn in this course is not, it should cost more.